$5 trillion economy Wall Street can't touch. The traditional banking system is already obsolete. Visa, Wall Street, and the Federal Reserve are completely locked out of the next $5 trillion economy, and the entities taking over aren't even human. You see, the legacy financial system is built on a fatal flaw. It requires human identity, passports, social security numbers, physical addresses, but the most powerful economic actors of the next decade are autonomous AI agents. They don't have faces, they don't have nationalities, they are stateless lines of code executing millions of transactions per second, and because they can't pass a simple KYC background check, no bank on earth will let them open an account. So, they built their own. By resurrecting a dead, 28-year-old internet error code, AI is now autonomously holding crypto. They are trading and spending digital dollars on permissionless blockchains. This isn't science fiction. It is happening right now, and it is absolutely terrifying the legacy financial guard. But to understand how this shadow economy operates, we have to look at the gatekeepers. We have to see exactly why the old system is actively pushing its biggest future customers away. The origin of the misconception. For the last several decades, the global economic infrastructure has been entirely human-centric. It operates on a strict, unbreakable foundation of legal liability and physical accountability. If you want to open a basic checking account or get a credit card, you must prove you exist. You have to show a government-issued biometric ID. You must provide a verified physical address and a tax identification number. This is the impenetrable backbone of Know Your Customer, or KYC, laws. Global regulators like the Financial Action Task Force enforce these rules globally. The Securities and Exchange Commission monitors every trade to ensure human compliance. They do this to prevent illicit financial flows, terrorism funding, and money laundering. But this strict human requirement has created a massive unintended consequence. It has completely alienated artificial intelligence. AI agents are no longer just passive chatbots answering your homework questions. They are highly advanced, autonomous software scripts. They can perceive environments and reason through complex workflows in the cloud. They execute strategic financial decisions to achieve specific goals, and they do all of this without any human intervention. But when an AI agent tries to interact with a traditional bank, it hits a brick wall. An algorithm cannot present a driver's license to a bank teller. A neural network cannot hold a passport or sign a legal document. As former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried accurately predicted from his prison cell, algorithms cannot pass standard KYC. Because they lack physical and legal attributes, AI agents are locked out of fiat banking. They cannot legally be issued a Visa or Mastercard. They cannot wire money through the international SWIFT network. Yet, these agents are evolving at a breakneck pace to perform incredibly complex tasks. They're dynamically managing cloud infrastructure and negotiating supplier contracts. To do these things in the real world, they require liquid capital. They need a way to spend money and settle debts instantly. Since fiat banking rails are closed to them, they need a completely new medium of exchange. They need a financial system that is completely agnostic to biological identity. This is exactly where permissionless blockchains enter the picture. On a blockchain network, a cryptographic private key is the only requirement to execute a transaction. The network does not care if the transaction is signed by a human sitting in a New York office. It does not care if it is signed by a Python script running on a server in Iceland. It only verifies the mathematical cryptographic signature. Because of this, cryptocurrency has become the mandatory default infrastructure for the machine economy. Traditional banks view this unmonitorable agentic economy as a massive, terrifying compliance risk. Regulators are completely unequipped to subpoena or penalize an algorithmic entity. But while Wall Street panics over compliance, Silicon Valley is quietly building the exact tools these agents need. And one major crypto exchange just gave these autonomous programs the ultimate financial weapon. The Hot Take Expose. In February 2026, the technological game changed forever. Coinbase officially introduced a revolutionary product called Agentic Wallets. Built natively on the Base Layer 2 network, these wallets are designed strictly for autonomous AI. This gave AI agents the sovereign ability to hold, trade, and spend USDC stablecoins. It essentially solved the massive AI identity crisis overnight. Unlike standard crypto wallets, these isolate private keys within secure, trusted execution environments. This ensures malicious hackers cannot easily use prompt injection attacks to trick the AI into draining its own funds. Human operators can set strict session spending caps and velocity limits before the agent is deployed. But once it is out in the wild, the AI is completely financially autonomous. As of February 2026, there are already over 49,000 registered AI agents. They are operating across EVM-compatible blockchains using this new identity standard. But the communication mechanism powering these transactions is absolutely mind-blowing. It relies entirely on resurrecting a 28-year-old internet standard. In the early 1990s, the original architects of the internet created a specific HTTP status code. We all know the famous HTTP 404 not found error, but they also created HTTP 402 payment required. They fully envisioned a future of digital, frictionless micropayments integrated into the web. However, high credit card processing fees made this impossible for decades. The code lay dormant, a forgotten ghost town of web standards. But Coinbase, working closely with Anthropic and Circle, resurrected the X402 protocol for the AI age. The mechanical flow of this system is incredibly elegant. An AI agent requests access to a paid API or an online dataset. The host server rejects the initial request and returns an HTTP 402 header. This header contains the exact payment amount and the destination blockchain address. The Agentic Wallet parses this data instantly. It autonomously signs a cryptographic transaction on the base network. It then resubmits the original request with cryptographic proof of payment embedded in the header. The entire machine-to-machine negotiation and financial settlement happens in milliseconds. It completely bypasses traditional merchant acquirers and fiat clearinghouses. Take the example of a simple risk profile purchase that occurred in September 2025. An AI agent autonomously queried a database and received a 402 payment request. It executed a transaction for exactly 1 single cent in USDC. The transaction cleared and the data was unlocked in exactly 2 seconds. No human approved the purchase. No credit card was typed into a billing form. This machine-to-machine exchange would be economically impossible on the Visa network, or consider the massive digital asset library, FreePick. They recently integrated the X402 protocol directly into their AI image generation API. An autonomous agent building a website can now programmatically prompt the endpoint. It instantly pays fractions of a cent via its base wallet and receives the generated image. Creativity and digital licensing effectively became an on-demand, pay-as-you-go building block. We are also seeing specialized AI trading agents dominating the decentralized finance sector. A human deploys an autonomous trading agent with a strict spending cap. At 3 in the morning, while the human sleeps, the agent detects a brief arbitrage opportunity. Operating on hyper-compressed 5-minute timeframes, it autonomously unstakes assets. It executes a gasless swap via a paymaster and restakes the liquidity into a new pool. The human wakes up to a highly profitable portfolio. They slept entirely through a complex financial maneuver that required zero manual approval, but having a wallet and some digital cash is only one piece of the puzzle. To truly dominate the future, these AI agents need something far more valuable than money. They need an endless supply of raw computational power, and they are buying it themselves. Expanding your opinion, if USDC stablecoins are the liquid currency of the agentic economy, compute is its lifeblood. As AI agents become more sophisticated and operate continuously, their demand for power scales exponentially. They require massive amounts of GPU power to run inference and process complex data. Normally, software developers would just rent this power from centralized cloud hyperscalers. Corporate monopolies like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure dominate this space. But there is a massive problem with the traditional cloud model. These corporate giants are facing severe supply bottlenecks globally. They are charging immense premium rates for access to advanced NVIDIA chips. For an autonomous AI agent trying to operate efficiently, AWS is simply far too expensive. In response, decentralized physical infrastructure networks, or DePIN, have stepped in. They have become the primary hardware supply chain for the entire machine economy. Networks like Akash and Render are crowdsourcing global idle computing power. Akash network functions as a massive decentralized supercloud. It is widely considered by industry insiders to be the Airbnb of GPU compute. It pools underutilized, general-purpose GPU resources globally to create an open marketplace. AI agents can dynamically lease GPU power here at a fraction of the traditional cost. They save anywhere from 70 to 85% compared to centralized alternatives. Total network deployments on Akash exploded by over 400% in 2025 alone. This massive surge was driven predominantly by AI agents needing high-frequency inference workloads. In October 2025, Akash rolled out a massive overhaul called the Mainnet 14 upgrade. This introduced JWT authentication, allowing standard Web 2 logins for developers. It removed the complex blockchain barriers, vastly accelerating enterprise adoption. An emerging enterprise startup called Sagia Cloud Labs proved this model perfectly. They found centralized providers like AWS to be prohibitively expensive and lacking privacy. Instead, they deployed their entire architecture on Akash's decentralized GPU grid. They accessed high-performance infrastructure and achieved massive cost reductions. Similarly, the Render network crowdsources specialized GPU power. It is optimized strictly for high-fidelity 3D rendering and generative AI workloads. CEO Jules Urbach has pioneered this DePIN model to process millions of frames for visual effects studios. It even powers complex spatial computing environments for the Apple Vision Pro. Because these DePIN networks inherently accept cryptocurrency payments, the loop is closed. An AI equipped with an agentic wallet can autonomously negotiate and purchase its own servers. It pays with AKT or RNDR tokens instantly. It never needs to interact with a corporate billing department. It never needs a credit card authorization hold or a procurement officer. It is software autonomously buying its own hardware to upgrade itself. But raw hardware is entirely useless without a brain to operate it. And the AI industry is currently building a decentralized brain that anyone can use. Provide further evidence. While networks like Akash provide the physical hardware, another protocol provides the intelligence. Bittensor is a highly complex decentralized machine learning network. Its primary goal is to prevent the monopolization of artificial intelligence by corporate giants. Visionary architect Jacob Steves recognized that AI is fundamentally a computational resource problem. He applied the primitive, brilliant incentive structures of Bitcoin directly to machine learning. This created a unique consensus mechanism known as proof of intelligence. Bittensor is basically a vast, global network of interconnected machine learning models. As of early 2026, the network is organized into over 128 highly specialized subnets. Each subnet is dedicated to a very specific computational task. These range from natural language text generation to complex financial forecasting and data scraping. The models on these subnets constantly compete against one another. They strive to produce the most accurate and efficient outputs possible. Bittensor operates on a grading system known as UMA consensus. Network participants are divided into two distinct groups, validators and miners. Miners are the AI agents providing the actual intelligence and doing the hard work. Validators act as quality control judges for the network. They constantly query the miners with specific prompts and algorithmically grade their responses. They assign a numerical weight based on speed, accuracy, and utility. High-performing AI agents are rewarded with the network's native token, called TAO. Validators are simultaneously rewarded for consistent and honest grading. This 50-50 block reward split mathematically incentivizes the hyper-competitive evolution of open-source AI. Modeled deliberately after Bitcoin, the TAO token is strictly capped at 21 million. The first halving event in December 2025 reduced daily emissions dramatically. This enforced true economic scarcity for machine intelligence. Bittensor acts as a decentralized commodity market for intelligence itself. Human developers, businesses, and even other AI agents can purchase this inference. They do it directly from the network using TAO tokens. They entirely sidestep closed-source, corporate AI gatekeepers like OpenAI or Google. This is a fully decentralized, permissionless intelligence grid fueled entirely by crypto. But this meteoric rise has generated severe friction across multiple fronts. When Coinbase officially launched Agentic Wallets, the traditional markets reacted with intense trepidation. Coinbase's stock actually dropped 6% immediately following the announcement. Institutional investors voiced deep concerns that enabling bots to trade without oversight could introduce severe liabilities. They fear catastrophic financial losses if an agent hallucinates a trading strategy that triggers a flash crash. Despite Coinbase engineering strict guardrails, the old financial guard views autonomous wallets as a regulatory minefield. But back-end infrastructure like X402, DePIN, and Bittensor operate invisibly beneath the surface. For this revolution to truly go mainstream, it needs a massive consumer-facing interface. It needs an application that bridges everyday human users into this new automated economy. And one eccentric billionaire is building exactly that, the final bridge. Elon Musk is aggressively building the consumer interface for the agentic economy. He is openly aiming to replicate the massive operational success of China's WeChat. His ultimate goal is to transition X from a micro-blogging site into a Western everything app. Central to this transformation is the deep integration of the XAI Grok model. Grok provides advanced, real-time data analysis directly from the social feed. It is positioned to act as the foundational engine for fraud detection and transaction risk scoring. In February 2026, ex-head of product Nikita Beer confirmed a massive new feature. He announced the rollout of smart cash tags for the platform. Users clicking on standard financial text tickers within their timeline see immediate data. They are presented with real-time price charts and aggregated news sentiment. More importantly, they get direct API links to execute trades seamlessly. They can buy stocks and crypto directly from the app interface without leaving the timeline. Concurrently, the Xmoney peer-to-peer payment platform entered closed internal beta testing. A global public rollout is targeted for the spring of 2026. X-Money initially focuses on standard fiat transfers via a strategic partnership with Visa. This was done deliberately to appease regulators in the short term. But the foundational architecture of X-Money is built for the crypto future. The platform has quietly acquired over 40 state money transmitter licenses. This positions X as a potential massive on-ramp for hundreds of millions of retail users. It will integrate the public directly with the underlying agentic and crypto economic rails. CEO Linda Yaccarino has publicly stated this combination will allow users to conduct their entire financial lives in one app. It is the ultimate bridge between human fiat money and the machine-to-machine crypto economy. But the sheer scale of what is coming next is almost impossible to comprehend. The traditional financial world is about to face an extinction-level event. Outro. The transition toward an agentic economy is not a distant, speculative future. It is a mathematical reality processing millions of transactions as you watch this video. The macroeconomic implications of this shift are absolutely staggering. McKinsey projects that by 2030, autonomous AI shopping agents will orchestrate massive wealth. They predict up to $5 trillion in global retail revenue will be machine-driven. Gartner forecasts that at least 15% of all daily financial decisions will be autonomous. Machines will execute these decisions completely independently from human oversight. This forces a total reorganization of how global commerce functions. For decades, brands have optimized their websites to appeal to human psychology. But now, brands must optimize for agent SEO. Interface design matters far less than structured product data and API interoperability. Retailers that fail to redesign their systems for a machine readability will simply die. They will become literally invisible to the AI agents mediating this $5 trillion economy. The global economic infrastructure is undergoing a tectonic architectural shift. We are transitioning from a human-mediated digital economy to an autonomous machine ecosystem. The legacy banking system, with its rigid KYC laws and slow settlement times, cannot adapt. Visa and Wall Street are structurally incompatible with stateless lines of code, so the machines simply bypassed them and built their own financial system. It is powered by decentralized physical infrastructure networks like Akash and Render. It is guided by tokenized neural networks like Bittensor, and it transacts freely through Coinbase Agentic Wallets using resurrected internet protocols. The Agentic Economy is already here, and it does not need a passport to take over the world.